Uh, we are live.
We are live?
Happy Family Day.
It is Family Day. How
It
come I
is.
didn't get a notification yet?
We're live.
We are?
Yes, we are.
Oh, there. Now it is. Yay! Okay, I'm going to... The designer and the dyer is now live. Woo! Oh, I found it on the computer. Yay!
Yay, live. And then you have to wait.
Well, there's a slight delay always.
Yes, true. True enough. Do you have all the controls there?
No, I have no controls. You have all the controls.
Oh, so I'm in control.
I'm just a guest in there.
Actually, you're an admin.
I know, but because you see, I didn't go. Yeah, I'm just a guest.
Oh, okay.
On this.
Alrighty.
Because you sent me the link and had it set up. So.
Oh, okay. Alrighty. Alrighty.
Okay.
Huh.
It says 2 are watching now.
Oh, well, hi, 2.
One of them is me.
Oh.
Well, because I have the laptop, so I put it up on the laptop.
Okay.
I didn't check the bariatric knitter group though. I can do that.
There you go. Oh, hi, Kelly.
Kelly's
Thank
on.
you for coming by. Yes, she is. She's smart. She goes right to YouTube.
Yeah, I think that's easier, really.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Oh, there. It's showing that we're live.
Yay! Hello, Lise.
Okay, but everyone's coming on YouTube. Good. All right. Shall I do the intro then? We've only been on live for like 3 minutes or something.
Works for me.
All right. Okay, so welcome to the Design on the Dyer. Yay! We're back live again.
Here.
Today we're sharing some tips and tricks so you can be a more confident crafter. That was the goal today. So grab a beverage and let's talk fiber.
Well, I would have a beverage.
Lea-Ann just spilled her beverage. So I'm Lauren and this is Lea-Ann.
And I'm Lea-Ann.
Yay! And so today we were just going to chat about, different tips and tricks we've learned over the years.
Mm-hmm.
We've been at this for a long time. We are not wearing any knits today. So last week I forgot to mention what we're wearing. I have my sweater on, which is Snowbird. Today we're not wearing any. It's frickin' freezing outside today, but it's hot in my office.
Yes, it is cold today.
Yeah. It was minus 24, I think, when I went out with Scamp this morning.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I don't
remember. That's a bit chilly.
Just a tiny bit. Just a teeny bit.
Oh, dear.
So we're still got... We'll just give it a few seconds.
We're still not what?
Oh, we got Lise and we got Kelly here.
Yeah.
So you're in control today.
Well, no, I don't have any of the power, but you want me to do all the talking.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's her talk day today.
Yeah. Okay, so what are you working on? I see you keep looking down. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're still fixing up your tea mess?
No. No. The other part of the work songs.
Oh, you started the second one.
Yes, I did. I will never do one at a time again. Never. That's crazy.
I prefer doing 2 at once as well.
Yeah. Yes. I get second sock syndrome so bad. I don't want to do it. So next pair will be 2 at a time.
Yeah, you can do toe up or cuff down. Either way, it can be done 2 at the same time on the same needle.
You were frozen for a minute.
Well,
yeah, this is my first time doing cuff down in 10 years.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too bad. I'm a confident Kitchener stitch person now.
Well, really, I mean, it's the same. I do a lot of like the tubular bind off.
Right.
And I've done some grafting, and they're all done about the same way, where it's you know, using your darning needle and going in stitches a specific way, and yeah, they both work about the same. So I'm pretty good at that now.
Yeah,
I can do it in my sleep.
I don't usually I stopped because I hated Kitchener stitch. I hated it. So that's why
I
I
don't
always
really love it
go up.
either,
But now I'm confident. My grafting skills have come up too.
yeah. I would say mine have gotten better too since trying out different things. Lee says only way 2 at a time. Yes, I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Kelly,
so would you say that a true sock knitter only does 1 at a time?
that's controversy to me because a lot of people say you're only a true sock knitter if you use dpns.
Ooh.
Right. And I will not. I used them on the other day because I wasn't in magic loop, but I prefer magic loop. I gotta move over this way. There we go. I prefer magic loop myself, so that's why I do 2 at a time. Gets it done.
I prefer 2 at a time, so of course it's magic loop. But I don't shy away from double points or the flexible double points.
I haven't tried those yet. You've had
a
few discussions. No, I was hoping someone would lend me theirs.
So I have Addy ones and I have Haya ones. So the Addy ones come in a tube. And then I actually prefer the Haya ones because they're sharper. These to me are kind of dull. The points aren't very there. Yeah. So what it is, it's like a double point, except it's got a flexible cord in the middle that's about 1 inch or 2 long.
Okay.
And so you split your stitches on 2 needles like you do for magic loop, and then use your 3rd needle to knit with. Okay.
Does anyone here use flexi flips and what's the other one? Flexi flips and
flyers.
And these flyers.
Addy flexi flips and the Haya flyers. No, mine are in the other room.
Okay. If you don't use those, how about 2 cables?
I actually haven't tried 2 cables.
You haven't tried the 2 cables? Anyone else?
2 needles? No.
So Kelly says so far she prefers DPNs. She doesn't have fancy circular needles.
Lisa says she tried them. They're okay, but she prefers 2 at a time. So magic loop. Yeah. I agree. But yes, they do say you're not a real sock knitter unless you use DPNs. That's just, I don't agree. No. Well, yeah. And I would say, because I do have quite a few sock knitters at the store, I would say there's a good variety. Most are doing, I think, magic loop. Some prefer toe up, some prefer cuff down, and some just prefer double points.
Oof. No, once I learned magic loop, my DPNs collect dust.
Yeah, what about shorties? Have you tried doing your socks on shorties?
Yes, that's why this pair is 1 sock at a time. I did use the Chow-Goo shorties, and no, it's not that I didn't like them, but I like 2 at a time. I like doing both, and it's done and it's over with, and then I'm on to the next. But no, I didn't enjoy it because I do have a problem. I'm a tight knitter, right? So with the Chow-Goos, I'm always sticking my finger. Okay. So I find with using the shorties, as I'm going, I end up poking my finger more. Okay. I seem to knit a little bit tighter with them. It's not that I don't like them, just not for socks, or maybe it's not even just for socks, but these socks I'm doing with Briggs and Little, which is 100% wool, and it's a very woolly wool. So it grabs onto the needles, and therefore when you pull it, it just jabs. Okay. So I have this hole. And you figure with like 1 inch of space on your finger, it would have many more places to hit. But for some reason, it always gets the same hole. Every
Yeah.
single.
Yeah.
Okay.
What length of shorty did you use?
I can't remember. Once I'm done, it's gone. It's out of my head.
Okay.
I can't
Because
even
no,
write it down.
because I did try a fixed circular. Oh,
Mhm.
it's Linda that commented on Facebook, and she says DPNs and cut down forever. Yeah, I was thinking of
Hi,
Linda.
Linda. Hi, Lise.
She is one of those DPN lovers. She did,
Oh,
however, take my toe up sock class and tried it
okay.
out.
And
She's, well, you have to start magically for
Linda.
sure. She did switch to double points though.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, after she got going, she switched to double points because it was
Okay.
easier for her.
I think once you get accustomed to something, it is very hard to change. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm an English thrower, and the other day I was trying continental, and I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it. Which is strange because when I'm crocheting,
Mm-hmm.
I hold my hook in my right, and I use my left for my yarn. But yet, when it comes to knitting, I can't.
Well,
Can't
I've
train.
tried, well, see, for holding yarn in my left hand, I can't actually do continental
Mhm.
because my finger won't stay down on the needle, or it
Okay.
won't stay up in the air. It always, because of the way I knit normally with throwing, I hold, if you're watching and can see my knitting while I'm talking, my
Right.
index finger on my left hand lets me know where my stitch is.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
then I can't keep my index finger up in the air when I'm holding the yarn in the other hand. So what I end up doing is actually Norwegian, where
Is
you hold
Norwegian
the
like is Norwegian like combined knitting? Because
I
I
guess
tried combined.
maybe. Well, Norwegian, they hold it in their left hand. Now I have to look to do this. But the
Right.
yarn stays on your index finger. And you
Okay.
just scoop it off with the needle tip. Rather than holding it up in the air and trying to move the finger back and forth.
Okay. Like a
So
sewing
try
machine.
Norwegian.
So shorties are good too. They mean I don't drop my DPNs on the plane. That must be
was
Linda
Linda
right
again.
there. Yeah. Or drop them in the couch. I just found one of my spiral cable needles in the side of my chair.
Oh, yeah.
I wondered where that one went to. It's a good thing I've got like 10 of them.
Oh, what I was going to say about the shorties is because I throw, I find that the 9-inch circular is actually too short for me.
Okay.
And so I do better using a 10-inch.
So adding an inch, you don't find that pulls your stitches too tight?
No, I found, well, my issue was I couldn't get my fingers in and out for throwing when I was doing a 9-inch circular. So having that extra inch, having it 10 inches, it's much easier to get my fingers in and out while I throw.
Well, you're doing it that way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't. As you said, I kept sticking myself.
Yeah.
It was like when you got to put Band-Aids on your finger, there's a problem.
I know, right?
Like a war wounds. People go, what happened to your finger? I was knitting.
Yep. Derry said she does the same as Linda, but that's the only way she knows how to knit socks.
Is with DPNs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there still are some DPN users. That's okay. It's all good.
We like you. It's okay.
All good.
I had mine out the other day. Actually, I still do have them out, but yeah, I just went right back to magic glue. But see, it's a woolly wool. Like that is super, super. Whoops, which way? Right there.
That
super
way, yep.
woolly.
Looks nice.
Well, they will be warm. They will be warm. And yeah, I'm thinking I got to make myself some. I've never done worsted weight socks before, ever.
I have all the time.
Yeah.
I don't have mine here today. In Tuesday's class last week, we got all our homework done. So I left them at the store because they're ready to go for class on Tuesday. Tomorrow.
Oh, yay! Okay. Yay. How far are you still?
We did the gusset last week. So this week we're doing the heel turn.
Okay, so let's talk about gussets. Who here does gussets, or do you do short rows, the fish kiss lips heel? You do gussets, I know, but anyone else? Lee's, Linda. Who else did we have?
Terry's on, Kelly's on.
What do you prefer?
Me, myself? It depends. I've done some. Oh, Linda says gussets.
Okay.
I've done some different kinds of socks. So some with a different heel, and then you kind of want to have. You wouldn't want a gusset for that one. But what I found out is I need the extra room around the heel area.
Okay.
And so if I'm putting in a separate color for the heel, which would be like a short row heel of some kind, then what I do is I actually do some increases before the heel and then decrease them out after. So not a real gusset, it's just a couple increases for some space. It's a faux gusset.
So Kelly does gussets.
Terry says gussets as well.
Yeah, Lee says she needs to try the fish kiss lips heel. That's it right there. Whoops, right there. That's a fish kiss. I love this heel. Ever since I've done it, and I've only done one sock because I've got high arches, and I've only done one sock, and it was out of the I can't remember what the name, that wouldn't kind of go over my arches around my heel. That was the only one pair so far. So that wasn't bad. How about your toes?
Toes, I always do the same kind.
Wedge around. Wedge. Anyone else? Wedge or rounded toes? What are your favorite toes?
I've only ever done one kind, just a wedge toe. I haven't tried any other ones.
Well, it kind of makes you wonder because your big toe's over here.
Some of them have all kinds of shaping and stuff too. Like you can do them so that it's like a left and a right.
Yes. I've seen that. I just find this easiest. I think, again, it goes back to what you know, right?
Yeah.
But
I think it's good to try out different things as well.
Yes.
And that's one of the ways you become a more confident crafter is to try things out. Right?
Yes. Get out of the comfort zone.
Just a little. That's like we did, because normally I teach the toe up socks with a traditional gusset and heel flap. And a couple years ago, was that pre-COVID? I taught a Flegel heel class, I think it was before.
Okay.
And that's, it's another, it does have a gusset, but it doesn't have that heel flap. It has a V shape on the back.
Right.
And actually, oh, can you hear the dog?
Her snoring.
Maybe a little loud in here today because we've got everybody's home, and I can hear the dog playing around with something out in the hallway.
Right.
The kids were supposed to be watching her and taking her outside, but
sorry, I got this peacock thing going on my head.
It's cute.
Or something. Keep talking. I'm just looking.
The Flegel heel. Oh yeah, I was talking about the Flegel heel. So that one can be done toe up or cuff down. If you're doing cuff down, the Flegel heel, the V shape ends up on the bottom of your foot. Okay. Kelly said she didn't know there was more than one way to do the toes.
Oh yes, there is.
I've seen it too with there's one where you start your sock and the toe is all done with short rows and you kind of do it over the toe this way rather than like a wedge.
Sorry, I was probably all hanging out there. Hoi. Always forget where the camera is. There you go. There is a good book. The Sock Knitting Bible.
Ooh. Who's that by?
That is by Lynn Rowe. And Lynn Rowe is actually a technical editor for quite a few magazines and quite a few designers. And the reason why I brought this one up is because it does, I think they have 7 heels. And I forget how many toes in this book. And even for, I think flat socks. I think I just saw, Please
I know
forgive
you
me.
can search the things up on Ravelry too, like just even different heels. And there's
Yeah,
tutorials for those.
that's 2 needle socks. This is a beautiful book. I have bought this book uh 5 times. I've given it to 5 different people to start them off in sock knitting. So
Wow.
usually usually if if I make up a gift box, it's usually got this book in it. But this is an amazing book. I mean, she's worked with so many different pattern designers.
Mm-hmm.
So she really gives, I'm just trying to figure out how many heels there are. There's common row heels. Oh, let me see. Slip stitch heel, garter stitch heel, striped 2-color heels. Then they have toe up options. There's a double stitch short row heel called the boomerang heel,
Mm-hmm.
wrap and turn short row heel, simple shaped heel, toe up gusset and heel flap, the forethought heel as well. So
Wow.
that was like 7 or 8 different heels. And then in
Yeah.
toes, they have, sorry, I thought there was more. There's 5 toes. There's a classic wedge toe, a rounded toe, a 4-point toe, a basic toe, and a banded toe as well.
Huh.
There, if you can just see it.
Wild.
But I would really suggest for anyone that is really likes knitting socks and wants to try a different.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta keep going this way. I suggest
Yep.
this. I love this book. I adore it. I adore it. So, anyways,
Can you tell what it was again? I'm gonna do show notes later, probably not till tomorrow, but or Wednesday
okay,
maybe.
it's the
But
Sock Knitting Bible,
okay.
and it is by Lynn Rowe, and it's everything you need to know about how to knit socks. But it came out 2 years ago, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, might have been a little, might be 3 years, 2 years, I think. But it is definitely worth putting on your bookshelf. I love the book. It's one of the, I still do the fish kiss lips heel because when I started knitting socks, I tried the heel and gusset and I just didn't like it. And I mean, she's had that pattern out for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I just happened to find it and I tried it and I kind of stick with it. I've tried others, but it's just my go-to. So,
Good.
so Kelly didn't know that there was more than one way to do a toe.
No.
There you go. 5 different ways. And there's probably a lot more than that, but those are the five good
That she
ways.
recommended. Yeah.
What's that?
Those are the 5 she recommended anyways.
Yes. Well, because some people, like when you're doing the wedge toe, I mean, some people have that, what do you call it? You got your big toe and then you got your next toe. I don't know what you call that toe.
Oh yeah, the second one.
The second toe. Some people have a longer toe and the wedge
Yes.
fits really, really well, where some people have a very long, bigger toe.
Yeah.
And therefore, maybe a rounded one would do better.
Yeah.
I still do wedge. Yes, everybody
Linda
has.
says, I think we all have our go-tos. Yeah, and it's like that with anything. You get stuck. Well, I wouldn't say we get stuck in a rut, but sometimes we do. I think it's good to try out new things and see if we like it. I really like the way the Flegel heel fits better for on my foot.
Right.
But I think that's the same with anything. We're getting into it's yarn tasting week at Sweet Yarns, which usually leads to a knit along or a make along of a top. And the same thing when we're doing clothing items, like things are like tops and sweaters. I think it's important to try different things out and find out what you really like. Do you prefer the raglan? Is that better shaping for you? Is a yoke better, like the circular yoke? What kind of sleeves do you like? What kind of fit?
Well, we've had that discussion a few times.
Yes.
Because I really don't like yoke sweaters. And it's not that I don't like them. I admire them on everyone else. But for me, I've got wider shoulders and they just make me look bigger, wider, like a football player. So I like raglan preferably. Or if I'm just bumming, like a drop shoulder works well.
Yeah. Have you tried, I know the Grocery Girls talked about it not too long ago, but there was one that has, like, the thing about the circular yokes is they have all those nice stitch patterns. But
Right.
there's one that had raglan increases in it as well.
Yes.
So it still had all the color work, but it had raglan increases instead of a circular yoke.
Yes.
I can't remember
I've
what
seen that
pattern
one.
that was, though.
I know there's a few of them. There's one that has kind of like a flame kind of motif.
Okay.
And it's done. Yeah, I think the Good Knits, I think they did it too.
Okay.
They're the one in Hamilton. I think they did one. We've got it's a comfort thing for me. Makes knitting relaxing, not usually looking for a challenge.
Yeah, that's Linda.
Me. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I like easy things that you don't have to, so that knitting can be more mindless, even though you're doing something complicated. Mm-hmm. When you know, you know.
Like when you have two doggies on your lap.
Or one. Oh my goodness.
Or one. Yeah. Last night was a little rough. I didn't want to be working on the socket that I had something funner to do. So
yeah, I just had no room on my lap. I didn't get a ton of knitting done.
I need to get one of those 1.5 chairs.
Same.
Because I'm sitting in a chair. I'm not usually on my couch. Yeah. So I like my chair, but I think I need like a 1.5 chair. Yes. Just for the doggies as well. What do we have?
Linda says.
And yet I love all the skill projects.
Yeah, that's Linda.
Yeah.
She loved all those skill projects Lauren created for us. Yeah, I did project kits. Actually, I'm planning to do a sock one next, but I think I did about 10 or 11.
Right. Yes.
I think project kits, and those can be ordered still anytime. They have videos that go along with it. And I show you how to do the whole project from start to finish, including all the things like tucking in ends and seaming things and all that jazz. So, yeah.
I thought I had brought them over from my studio, but I didn't.
Ah.
I thought they were all sitting behind me, but no, they haven't made it over yet, or else I would have just helped them. But yeah, I have them all.
I was actually, so I was checking my shelf today, and I thought I had this book, and I was right. It's called Knit Fix.
Okay.
Problem Solving for Knitters by Lisa Cartus, Kartus. And she has in, like if you make mistakes and stuff like that, how to recognize them and then how to fix them.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask with everyone, mistakes.
Like even how to unknit.
Okay.
Tink back. That was kind of neat.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier in the description was, do you tink, do you frog, or do you just put it away, for another day? Basically, I can almost get out of anything except for lace. I cannot get myself out of lace. So with lace, I'll do a little bit and then I'll put a lifeline. And then I'll do a little bit and I'll put a lifeline. Because that's the one thing I still can never figure out how to undo a mistake.
What is a lifeline? Some people may not know. Do you want to explain what it is?
Okay, so a lifeline is when I usually just use like a slippery yarn, and as I'm knitting, as I knit across, or you can just pick it up with a darning needle, you just pick up each of your stitches, and therefore it leaves a line there. So if you have to tink back or you have to frog it back, you just pull out your stitches and it stops at that line. So then you can pick them up and continue again. So that's what I do. That's the only way I can get through a lace project, because I am sure to make a mistake. Always do.
Dental floss is really good for a lifeline.
Oh, I've heard that too. I've never tried it.
And actually, if you have interchangeables, you should be able to fit your lifeline through that hole.
Have you tried that?
I have not yet, but I have had people who have. So you just put especially a dental floss should be small enough. You can put it through the hole and tie it on. And then when you do that last row or round, it just follows your stitches around.
I'm trying to think if I can even see that. I have a hard enough time getting a pin in there. Right?
It won't work on the minis. Those are too small, but
they're too small. Yes. Yes.
But I think you should be able to feed it in there. Even use one of those needle threaders. You can put that in first. in through
I
the
love
hole.
this. I love this comment from Lise.
Oh,
I fix my boo-boos, but if really complicated, I will drag it over to Lauren.
yes.
Yes. So
actually, I have a few customers who will leave their projects in their vehicles now, so they don't keep playing around and make it worse until they can get over to see me.
It's when do you? I think this last year, I've become a lot more fearless in my knitting. Now that I've given myself permission to say, you know what, this isn't working for me, I can frog it and move on. Or if I don't like the yarn, I can say, you know what, I don't like it. I never gave myself permission to do that before. And sometimes, you know, you want perfect. And it's never going to be perfect, but we keep striving for perfection. And some of us, it just drives you crazy. You can spot that one little stitch in a full cardigan that's not right. So I think once you cancel out and say, you know what, I can't be perfect, then you become a little bit more fearless. And a good example is the baby surprise jacket. For those who have maybe heard my saga with these, this is the third one I've knitted. The first two, the babies grew out of before they got them for Christmas.
Whoopsies.
So this is for the 3-year-old, but the old instructions, the old pattern by Elizabeth Zimmerman, was very hard to read.
Hard to follow.
It was very hard. So what happened is the original hood, the way I read it, came out to something that looked like it should have been on ET with a point on it. It wasn't nice. So I've gone through books and I finally found this hood. So what happened was, and it's still backwards, was the other day I finished knitting it and I went to seam it up, and I seamed it up backwards. So instead of seaming it up on the right sides with the wrong sides together and doing a mattress stitch, I did it the opposite way, and I had it with the wrong sides together and I seamed it up. And then I realized my mistake. So I had already woven in my ends. There's no way with a mattress stitch to be able to pick that and find it. So I was so frustrated. Remember, this is my third one. I'm so frustrated. I took the scissors and I just cut it right off. I just took them and went right across it. And then I pulled it all out, picked up my stitches, and I was fine. I've never been like that, ever. No. Because I thought, you know what? I have nothing to lose at this point. True. I'm over this. I still have 2 more to do. Yeah. And then two to give to charity. But so that's what I did. And you know what? Once I did that, I thought, okay, easy peasy. This is no problem. It's not as big of a deal as I thought it was. Again, because, you know, you're scared. Like, how many times last year we did the, what was the name of that? The longest day shawl. Yeah. Was that what? Yeah, that was the call. I didn't do it. Well, I did do it, but I frogged it. But that one was, it was the longest couple months on that one. But that one there where you did stitched and then you cut right up the middle, and everybody was fearful of steeking, like, you know, cutting it. Would it fall apart? Would it this? Would it that? But you know what? It's not that hard. Like, when I'm saying not that hard is if you give yourself permission to say, okay, you know what? I can pull back an inch. I can pull back 2 inches. I can pick them up. I can do it again. I think that's what gives you more experience. That's what makes you a little bit better.
I wouldn't say that a beginner would want to attempt cutting and steeking and ripping needles out and picking up stitches. I think that confidence like that comes more with more practice, more knitting, right?
There we go. Sorry, I was getting a little
Oh, that's
slow.
Linda. She
Clicking.
says, I think every project I've ever knitted has at least one mistake, and I leave it, and I'm okay with that.
Good for you, Linda. That is fantastic. And then Lee says, I often make small mistakes and I leave them. Most will block out, and if not, it becomes my own design feature. This is true.
Nice.
That's true.
Yep.
And that's giving yourself permission to do that, you know, that it's
Yes.
okay. I have learned, I did the gnome hat,
Yeah.
which Lauren has not released yet. And I was
working on it.
I was 25 rows up above a mistake.
Oh my goodness.
I know, because I didn't cross one. So I had a cable going over top, and I thought, I can't live with it. I just couldn't. So anyways, I learned how to tink back for a cable on an angle.
Oh, wow.
To get to that. And the trick of
you didn't tink back, though. You dropped the stitches.
Just in those cables. I had two.
Yeah.
And I had to drop them back, and I had to pick them up. But there is a trick, and let me get something here.
Actually, that was in this Knit Fix book. She shows how to do that. I'll find the page.
I'll show you a neat way that I never thought about when you do have to drop down and take out stitches. So if you have to drop one, and even if you're doing on an angle, so I haven't tried it on lace yet, but if you have to drop down, especially if it's in cables, because your cables curve, right? So sometimes
they cross.
Yes, they cross. So you're starting usually, if a cable is crossing this way, you're starting on a stitch over here and you're tinking across this way. So what I was taught was you use these, the little, I call them light bulb.
The safety stitch markers, yeah.
Yes. So each time you drop a stitch, you just pick each one up with one of these. One, two, and you keep going. So therefore, when you get down to the bottom and you start picking up your stitches, you just lift these up, each one by one, pull them up, and it pulls the dropped stitch away. So then you can just crochet it back in and you work your way back up. So you can do it across on an angle, up and down. So I did it 25 rows. I was like so ecstatic and proud of myself.
This book here shows it. So there. So it's taking your stitches off.
Okay.
And then she used 2 stitch markers, the bigger ones.
Right.
And then just to recross them the correct way. So you do one and then the other.
It worked out wonderful. I was so happy.
There.
Okay. Yeah.
Same idea.
So just a bunch of these. I love these. These are probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So things to think about when you're dropping stitches is that you want to pick them up the correct way. So every stitch is like an upside down U, and the right side should be on the front and the left side should be on the back. And that will mean that your stitches will look like flat knitting again, just like these ones do. But when they're sitting on the needle or the cord, whether it's the purl side or the knit side, the right side of that upside down U is on the front and the left side is on the back. And that means they won't be twisted.
Okay. Who has to turn their work? Like, there's some people that will always, if they've dropped a stitch, they'll turn their work so they're picking up from the knit side rather than the garter side. Anyone else do that?
I think it's a lot easier
than doing it from the garter side.
Yeah. Well, that's when it's stuck in it. Rather doing it on the knit side rather than the purl side. Like this is stuck in it. So I find it a lot easier to fix stitches on this side than it is to turn it around and try and fix it on this side.
See, I never ever thought about doing that.
I always do.
No, I just, wherever it goes, I just pick it up and I go. There you go. Wow, I've learned something. Make it a little bit easier.
Turn it around.
Turn it around. Turn it around.
you know, like if you're working in ribbing and you drop one of your purl bump stitches, well, it's knit on the other side.
Yes.
And so if you find it easier to pick it up knit-wise, then just catch that stitch and then pick it up knit-wise instead. The only other thing about dropping stitches down is that you want to make sure that you're catching the right strand going across every time.
Yes. Yes.
Because if you're catching the wrong one, then you get funny holes and things too.
Yeah. Okay, so we've explored that. Let's talk about make ones.
What do you mean make ones? If you forget to put one in?
No. Who's done that?
Just add it in.
Who's done that before? You don't have a stitch count, so you just make one and add it in. Anyone?
Stitch count is incorrect.
I do it hoping I can cheat, and then I end up thinking back or frogging it. Yeah, never works for me. No, the difference in make ones and when to do knit front to back.
Well, it depends if you want the increases to show or not. I think a lot of the time,
whether it's decorative or not.
Yeah.
I do it all the time.
Like for example, the knit front and back is very bumpy. Like if you're doing knit front backs in garter, it doesn't show up. But if you're doing it in stockinette, you tend to get a bump there. Linda says make one right versus make one left. Yes, it depends on which way you want your stitches to lean. Yes. That's why when we're doing socks, they usually go one way on one end and one way on the other end.
Mm-hmm. And then there's some patterns that just say make one.
Then when they say that,
then it's up to you.
There's a couple options. Usually they tell you how to do it in the definitions.
Mm-hmm.
But also
don't.
If it just says make one, then it's the one you prefer to use. But it should not be a knit front and back.
No.
Because they'll have told you X number of stitches to work in pattern and then do a make one. So if you were doing a knit front and back, you would actually have to undo one stitch and turn that into your knit front and back rather than picking up and making one. Because then your stitch count gets off.
Yes, I've done that a few times too. I don't think there's anything I haven't done. I try and cheat all the time.
Cheater, pumpkin eater.
I am. If I can get away with it, but it's that trying to get it perfect that gets me every time. I've almost been at the end of a project and I've frogged it just for reasons that, as I said, it wasn't perfect or something was off about it. So then my next question is when do you decide that pattern's not working for you anymore? When do you give yourself permission to say, you know what, I don't like it?
Preferably before you finish it.
Well, there's a few here that we know have finished them and then made that decision. But when? Like, really, when do you make that decision to say, you know what, this isn't working for me, and give yourself permission? Because, we were talking about that the other day, and the fella that I'm with, he always goes, oh, you frogged it again. And I say, yes, I did. I didn't like it, but you put all that work into it. That's always, what people say. Not him, but people always say, well, you put all that work into it.
Oh, yeah. That is one thing people freak out about all the time. But I spent all those hours making it. Yeah, but if you're not going to use it or wear it or like it.
Exactly.
Then you need to just chalk that up to experience and move on.
And with the price of wool, forget it. I'd rather use it for something else, right? That I'm going to like or love or,
Linda says perfection is highly overrated. That I agree with. It doesn't need to be perfect. But if you, like, say you make a sweater or a top and it's not fitting right, you knit it too big, you knit it too small, would it not make more sense to rip it out and try again.
Yes.
Or, you know, if because sometimes some of the yarns stretch a lot, like superwash wool.
Yes.
Yeah, you were talking about that and how much bigger it got. Well, sometimes the yarn was a bad choice for that pattern.
Yes.
It doesn't have enough, the yarn itself doesn't have enough structure for that design. Yep. So maybe you should try again, because some yarns and patterns just don't match.
Exactly. Well,
Linda says it's all just knitting. Ripping out and starting over means more hours of enjoyment.
That exactly. Is good. That is good. I wish more thought like that.
Yeah.
Except some of us are on the rush to do the next one. That's
True.
why I keep so many on. And then I go, when am I going to get time to do that? No.
That would be me.
You know, I'm not, being a dyer, of course, I dye a lot of superwash because that's what the people want. I mean, we're in that day and age where it's just easier to take care of, right?
Yeah.
Myself, I don't prefer superwash. I like 100%, and it doesn't mean I don't use superwash, but every time I've used superwash to do a sweater and I do it in the round, that's when I always run into problems. Because I find that superwash needs more structure. So for me, and this is just my opinion, other people use superwash and they do it in the round. I just find that those are the ones, and I know a lot of people can't stand seaming, but I just find that the structure for me works better if I do it in pieces and then seam it.
I think it also depends though on the fabric you're making as well.
True.
Like garter stitch, like in the baby surprise jacket, is very stretchy. Yeah. Whereas stockinette isn't quite as much.
I should have.
Donna says, I'll only frog a whole thing if the yarn is a little precious to me. I agree completely. I did that. I ripped out my Find Your Fade shawl because I wanted that yarn. The yarn was a beautiful single ply that I really liked, and I just was not wearing the shawl, so I ripped it out.
How long
did you start a new shawl? But
how long did you have that sitting before you ripped it out, though?
A few years.
Okay. Just a question, does anyone just get tired of a yarn? You knit with it, and you get the project done. And even if the project is like, not what you thought it was going to be, you just don't want to rip it out because you don't want it. Again, you're tired of the yarn. I get like that all the time.
Oh,
yeah. All the time.
No, I haven't got tired of a yarn.
You haven't?
I think I knit with too much of a variety of yarn to get tired of one.
I'm thinking.
Although right now, all my projects are vintage.
Well, I'm thinking right now, maybe if I leave a project that I'm thinking about ripping out, if I leave it for a couple of years, then maybe I might like the yarn again. But no, I'm like that. Like I get teased all the time that even with cooking, I never make the same meal twice. You might get the same meal once every 2 years. If you had roast in December, you won't get it till the next December.
Oh my goodness.
It's never the same. I get bored very easily. Very much.
Linda says, I give lots of projects away, so if it's not for me, someone else can enjoy it.
That's awesome, Linda.
That's good to do too, for sure.
Give it away. Yeah.
Yeah. I've done that a couple of times. There were some of my accessories now when I went through them that I gave to Aiden, and a few we decided the yarn was good, but not the project. So I'm going to rip them out and reuse the yarn for something else.
And that goes to I've always been more. When I was going through because the renovation was done on my bedroom, and I was going through all my clothes and that, and I keep saying to everyone, I've gained a little weight, so I had to put all those size 6s and stuff away. But I came across some knits that I had, and I didn't realize out of all these years knitting, I've got 5, and they're all shawls.
Oh, really?
And, 4 3 shawls and 2 hats. That's
all you've got?
That's all I've got. I've given
goodness.
everything away because I used to just knit for other people. I like making people happy. So this year was when I said I was going to be a selfish knitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not for me.
Not yet.
Not for me.
Join our make along and do a top.
Who else? Like, who knits more for their own wardrobe, or they knit more just to gift it? I mean, you don't count, Lauren, because you're always doing samples for the store.
Yeah, I never. Well, that's not true neither. I just finished blocking all of my spring tops. Where did I put them? Oh, hold on.
You do.
So I got them packed up to go to the store tomorrow.
Oh, that's right.
So here they are in the bag. They're my spring summer tops. Woo!
I like this. More gifting here. My grandkids are getting bigger, so they like shopping in my stash of items.
Oh yeah, that's Linda.
Oh, yes.
1, 2, 3.
Isn't it 4. A joy to be a grandmother?
I'm up to 5 tops.
Most for me and my grandkids. Yes.
I know both of Lisa's knit for family members all the time.
Yes. More than themselves.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Sorry. Oops. My fingers are all over. I just lost my ball again.
Ooh, oh dear.
I said I was going to frog them, and that was a Scatterbee sock.
Yeah.
Yeah. I keep putting it down and then forget about it. Yeah, Lise Thomas. Yeah, 10 more. Lise, didn't your husband try and sell some shawls on you?
Yes, he did.
Didn't she showing pictures to the neighbors of her work? Wasn't that you, Lise?
Yeah. Terry says she owns 2 pair of socks. That's it.
And that's it. Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Terry's
Kelly,
always knitting for other people as well.
Other people. Yeah, there we go. Lise Thomas. He did. Well, he can come over and sell some of mine. Oh, I thought that was a hilarious story. But, that's a testament to how much he loves his wife and believes in her. When the fella starts telling the neighbors how good you are in showing pictures, that's a good man. Very good man. Mine usually goes, she's at it again.
Yeah, but you keep ripping stuff out.
Yes, I do. I do. But, I hate to do this. I said I wasn't going to show it, but I have to. I really have to, because I was hiding it from you. And
then you told me about it yesterday.
And I told her about it yesterday. I was trying to hide it from everybody. But the reason why I'm not going to hide it now is because I don't know where I put the tags. Hang on. Excuse me. Let me go underneath here.
I cast it on something new yesterday, but I'm not showing it till Thursday.
Oh, you're not showing it till Thursday?
No, I didn't even bring it in here, so I couldn't be tempted.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think it was about 15 years ago. Bernat came out with a yarn, an acrylic yarn called Mosaic. I don't know if anybody here knew about Mosaic. I think they had 7 or 8 colorways in it. And I had all of them. I had 12 skeins of each one because I intended to do a blanket for it with each colorway. And I didn't. But I did keep 2. I think I gave 2 away recently, but I did keep 2. And they were supposed to be for a blanket. And I do have the squares for one of them, but that's another day. Anyways, okay. Last week after our live and us starting to get ready to do the Frog and Toad make along.
Yeah.
I was watching a woman in Denmark, her podcast, and I'm sorry, this is funny. The Emotional Support Chicken. And then I thought the emotional support chicken, that's right up my alley. So anyways, I think it was Les Garçons. I think they did it. There not too many people have done it yet, but you can buy kits. The designer
No, it's
had,
not them.
who was it? It was two fellas.
No, it's not them for sure. Oh, Linda says she loves that chicken.
I
No,
know.
Les Garçons, Vincent is doing some stuffies, but they're with Toft yarn or something.
Okay, well
They're
this
kits.
is
so
my
cool.
This is my my tail of my chicken, and I am using mosaic. The color I'm using, and it's like, oh, hard. Okay, so this side, I'm on the breast, it makes it hard. So this side is kind of blues into greens.
Mm-hmm.
And this side's going the browns, oops, over here.
Yeah.
Over here. And then I'm using Medusa for my contrast color. So on this side, I am going into the breast here. The breast is turning kind of gray.
Okay.
This is the most coolest pattern. If you are scared of doing wrap and turns, this is all wrap and turns everywhere you go. So with this, you start, whoops, over here, and you go down, wrap and turn, wrap and turn. Then you pick up here, wrap and turn here, and then you do a second piece, and then they want you to crochet it together. And then you pick up going across. I can't get this right. Then you pick up going across here, and then you start here, wrap and turn, and oops, there, you can see it goes like this. That's all wrap and turns.
Do you have to do wrap and turns?
Yes, to get the shape.
Well, I know there's other kinds of short rows. I wondered if you could do a different kind.
You could, but this is too fun.
Nope.
I mean, I don't want to put it down. That's the problem, but I have to because I got other things to do, like cooking and laundry and housework and lives like that, right? But I don't want to put it down. Like I just started this not last night, the night before. I haven't put too many hours into it, but this is the emotional support chicken, and I'll just show you. I think everybody should be doing this one.
Are we going to do it as a knit-along?
I think if people want to come over and knit with me, I'll do 10 of them. There we go. There it is. Isn't that just the cutest little thing?
It is really cute. Like, everyone's getting emotional support chickens for Christmas presents in 2024.
I think so. You know, and then I was thinking because I have chickens. Anyway. So what I was thinking is we always call like the grandbabies always say that they're chicken wranglers. So that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
This one's for me. But I was thinking about doing them. And you know when they were doing the lifelike baby dolls, they used to put heartbeats in them. You could buy the heartbeat thing or a warming gel pad or something like that. Well, I was thinking about doing that, figuring out some way to put something to warm up inside of this, like not a hot water bottle, but you can get those gel hand warmers that you click.
Oh yeah.
And they do that, and I thought, well, it would be easy just to leave where you're going to put the stuffing in anyways, and put a little bit of Velcro on there and stick one of those in for them to warm up. And what a good thing for little kids when they've been outside playing in the snow, they can come in and you can heat up their little chicken. And Lise Thomas, she wants to do an emotional chicken. Yes. So
Linda says yes, a knit along, please.
Okay. Does anyone want to come up and visit me and do a knit along? Because this is the cool, as I said, if you're scared of doing short rows or wrap and turns or anything like this, it is the easiest fun. It is just fun. I don't want to put it down. I thought about not coming on today. I'm only kidding. We've got the yarn shop in Moncton. What was in Moncton?
Linda
3 Bags Full is doing it as along. Okay.
Linda says we'll need to knit some eggs after.
Yes. Kelly says finish knitting stories, knit an emotional support chicken. I think that they're great. Yes. We've got a cow. Lee's. Then we need some eggs. Yes, we do. But you can only use once hand warmers. And yes, no, Lee's, there's these ones. If you go on line, I had them years ago for the barn. When it was really cold out, and we would go to muck stalls at night or bring the horses back in. And I got them. They're like a gel, and they've got a little metal piece in there that you click, and they heat up. It's actually, they freeze up, but the freezing creates heat, like almost like plaster Paris. When you do plaster Paris, it gets hot before it does. And then when it will last, mine always lasts about half an hour, but if you had them in a good pair of mittens, then your hands stayed warm for quite a while. So then once they go cold, you put them in water and you boil them in just a pot of water. Okay. And the water brings them back down to liquid again, and then they're reusable. So every night we'd come home from the barn and I'd drop them in a pot and then heat the pot up, go back to liquid, and they were ready for the next night.
Cool.
So yeah, so I was thinking those would be good, just like in a little pocket, that you could maybe knit like a little pocket so it's not always in the stuffing, right? And then have a little pocket that you could slide those in, and for the little grandbabies. When their hands you can make it as a muff. Emotional source. The little thing on its neck, right? Well, I used to, a lot of people don't know that I was a small livestock farmer. And so each year I would hatch out probably about 300 eggs or more. And that was in chickens and ducks and pheasants. And what I used to do was when I would hatch out a good 60 duck eggs, I would call people and say, bring your child over to my house. And I'd fill out the bathtub and put their kids, tell them to bring a bathing suit, of course. And I would put their kids in my bathtub and throw baby ducks in, like 1-day-old ducks, 2-day-old ducks. And they would be in the water.
That's so much fun.
I know. Well, you got to do that. Kids, they got to have fun. So, yes, I used to do that. That was just something that I would do. It's good for the kids. So, an emotional support chicken. Cool. So, raise your hand if you want to do that. Different weights of yarn would give you different chickens. Yes. You can make some banty hens. Yeah, super colorful. Yeah.
Yeah, Linda says different weights of yarn would give you different size chickens. Totally. Because the pattern calls for worsted weight.
Yes.
And a 4.5 millimeter needle. But you could definitely do different weights of yarn and do smaller needles.
Yes. Just the one thing that you have to watch is make sure that your fabric is dense. Because if it's not, then you'll get the see-through when you put the stuffing in. And I've seen a few people that have done them online, and when they show them, you can see the stuffing through it.
Yeah. Well, anytime you do a stuffy, actually have some worsted weight ones here. Anytime you do a stuffy, you want to make sure that you're using a needle that's a little bit smaller. This is a snake.
Oh, I couldn't figure out what that was. Sorry.
It's done with short rows so that it turns different directions.
Oh, okay. Cool? Kind of cool.
This one was done with short rows to do it in a circle.
Oh, okay. That's cool too. I never thought about doing it. I don't do stuffies. This is
I do all the time.
Do all the time.
I haven't finished any in a while, but I love doing stuffies. They're fun.
I am just getting into it. So the emotional support chicken was like super cool. But then
Linda says, sounds like an Easter project. I wonder if we could knit them in March. All the stuffies, yes, woo! Because Easter is the last weekend of March to April? I just made it.
Now that all my kids are grown up and gone, I don't even know when holidays are anymore. There's a good book that came in.
Peter Rabbit?
Yes, this one is Claire Garland, and her work is so fabulous. But I am thinking about doing I think it was the fox. I don't know. I can't decide. I mean, like, take a look at this. Look at this kitten.
I know. I did her cat. One of her cats. AJ got her. Or that
Okay.
cat.
Yeah.
I have the dog one. I got the dog one has a course actually, and I bought
really?
that. I haven't done it yet though.
Well, I got this book, and as I said, I've never been into stuffies before, but I'm thinking, yes, give me more. Give me more. So yeah, I don't know which one I want to do first, but I'm probably going with the fox.
Yeah, he's cute.
He is just a doll. So anyways, emotional support chicken first, because I need emotional support.
Yeah, Easter is the last weekend of March.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So do we think we could get a chicken done in March?
Well, I'm already on its breast, and that's 2 nights.
So it's almost finished?
Yes.
Linda says he's fantastic. Fantastic, Mr. Fox.
I know if anyone local needs to borrow this book or they want to see it, just let me know. Any of the books that I ever show, if you're local and you want to see them or take them home, just let me know or let Lauren know, and then we'll send them down to the store.
Yeah.
And you can take a look at them there. So anything, I got 100. Got lots. I got lots of books.
You do.
Some of them I haven't even looked at. No, remember I still have 3 of yours here.
Yeah.
Definitely. But yes, emotional support chicken. So we need 15 millimeter eyes for these ones. So if you want to start those up.
Yeah, if you're doing worse away, I might actually have some at the store. They're just black though.
Oh, I want green ones. I think. Yeah, I'm not sure. As I said, I wasn't going to share the project, but I can't keep secrets anyways. I'm so happy with it. I mean, an emotional support chicken.
And it's fun to knit.
It is fun. I'm having a blast. It's one of those ones, when you just find a project that you just can't put down, you don't want to put it down. And it's like you go to your family, make your own dinner. Go. Don't bug me.
Go away. I'm busy.
Yeah, I'm busy. Don't talk to me. Right?
I wish.
Don't like you anymore. Go. No.
I need to get the dog to stay off my lap.
Yeah, you haven't got too much knitting done since you got your puppy.
No. She's definitely my dog, and she's been super cuddly lately.
Oh, I think it's growing pains.
Maybe.
I think they've both been at that. So is there anything that, let me see, there was something I was going to ask.
Okay.
I know. I don't know. I have so much to do. I am so behind on everything. I was saying to Lauren earlier that I have, let me see, painting. I have so much painting to do, a furniture painting. So I have, what did I say? I have 1, 2, 3 dressers, 1 large armoire, 2 night tables, 2 end tables, a coffee table, 2 chairs to paint. I have an upstairs bedroom that has to be painted. This whole surgery has kind of put me behind. Hi, Valerie. Look who's here.
Woo!
Yeah, so it's really put me behind. So, I've got all this stuff because I like recycling and repurposing things.
Yeah, me too.
So, yes. So between that and trying to decide what I'm going to knit, I mean, so far, remember, I had 7 projects that I was supposed to get done. I had 3 Christmas gifts that I had to redo. Then 1 for my son, which I haven't got to that neither. And then I had 7 projects that I was supposed to start, but somehow I ended up with work socks on and an emotional support chicken.
Yeah, you never know what's going to come up, do you?
No. And that's why, as I said, it's okay to plan, but, at least leave yourself some space.
Yeah.
I still have a die coming up soon. We do have something coming out that will be called Sweet Treats. I just got to get over to the studio and do some dyeing. I haven't really done too much since, well, actually, I haven't done any dyeing since the surgery. I couldn't trust myself. Could not trust myself to get my formulas and calculations right. So I thought, you know what? I'll stay away and I'll take this time just to knit for a little bit. But oh my goodness. And right now I am trying to get this undone, but I've got a snag here. Lauren can attest to how much I really dislike when things get tangled.
Yeah. They always get sent to me. Here.
Yeah.
You have fun.
I always say to people when I get something so badly tangled, I give it away. I go, you know what? If you can untangle it, you can have it. I'm done.
Yeah, and I enjoyed the untangling. It's like a puzzle.
Oof. Oh, no thanks. I got no time for that. So no time. No, I'm not. I'm very impatient. A lot of people think I have patience with Job. No, I do not.
No.
Not for untangling stuff. I like dyeing. I don't like painting. I don't want to be painting, but then I get these harebrained ideas. So, but no, we're coming out with sweet treats, and the sweet treats will be fashioned after ready-made foods. So I'm giving you all a heads up, and I should hopefully be dyeing not. Oh, I got 2 weeks, probably middle of March. Because yeah, we're already like really close to the end of February. Like, where does the time go when you get this old?
I don't know. I never have enough time. I got to go back to work tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Back to the store tomorrow, yeah.
Right.
It's Tuesday again already.
Right. This is true too. No.
But it should be a fun week.
What's happening this week?
Well, I have saw class Tuesday, and then we have the in-store yarn tasting Wednesday, and then the virtual yarn tasting Thursday.
Okay.
And then we should be talking about a new make-along. Yay!
Yes.
Another top. Hey?
Another one. Another one. So, hold on. Whoops. Okay. I'm done. I'm already frustrated.
Stick it in a bag. I'll pick it up.
No, I'm cutting it. Hang on. I keep disappearing. Sorry. I have no patience for this one. Yeah, I've got to frog another sweater. It was a superwash one. And again, I think we talked about that last week with circular and superwash, how it sometimes
stretches.
Yeah, so that one I have to frog, but so far this one's being a pain. I
usually frog onto with a ball winder.
Is that how you do it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't. I'm like a little old fashioned. I still do it by hand.
No, I started, once you've got an end, I just stick it on the ball winder and wind. Zips it right off into a cake. You're done.
How do you keep your cakes nice and neat? Where's my last one? Does anyone else like really kill their cakes? This one's not too bad. That one's not that bad. But usually as I'm getting to the end of one, it's really like mowed down.
Here's the end of mine.
Yeah. See, if I'm doing sometimes, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love a ball winder, but sometimes I'll just take a skein and I'll put it on my knee. And, I could use my Swift and I just roll them into balls.
Yeah, I've done that too. Actually, I rolled a skein into a ball in a movie theater one time.
Did you?
Yeah.
But
I
you've
took the
knit.
kids to the movies, and when they were smaller, and Aiden decided she wanted to knit on the way home. So I said, okay. So I brought the skein in the movie theater, and I wound it while I watched the kid show. It was a kid's cartoon, so it was nice and bright in there.
Nice and bright. Get it done. You just had the skein on your knees?
Yeah, hung it on my one knee, and yeah, it didn't tangle or anything. Had it done by the time we finished. I think it was fingering weight too.
Okay, question I have.
Okay.
If someone was writing a book, and this is for our guests, someone said that they were going to write a book and they wanted to know your best tips for knitting, what would you recommend? Anyone?
Right. I would say, after being a yarn shop owner for so long and all of the issues that people come in with, I would think the most important thing is to learn to read your knitting.
Okay, yep.
A lot of people will read the pattern and do what it says, but then they can't figure out what, by looking at their work that they've done, as to what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
So, they'll know they made a mistake because there's extra stitches left or something, but then they can't figure out what they did wrong.
Yes.
Linda says, knit what makes you happy.
Yes. And
I agree with that too.
Don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else? Any tips? See, now, how many people read charts over the written? Anyone?
I always read a chart.
You read a chart first?
I love a chart.
Oh, I go for the written. Anyone else? Do you prefer a chart or do you prefer written instructions?
In my patterns, I always do both, but I prefer reading a chart because, like I said, I can read my knitting. So especially with something like cables and color work, you can totally see where everything's supposed to line up. And if yours isn't, what you're knitting doesn't look like what the chart says,
I
have a hard time visualizing what the written instructions say.
Oh, see, I guess because being a crocheter, back then we didn't use charts. It was always written, so I've always been able to read it rather than, but yeah, I get lost.
Oh, Linda's got another good one. She has have more than one project on the go, so you've got a project that matches your mood.
That is a good one. That is absolutely perfect.
Or if you're a new knitter, have more than one so that when you get stuck on one, you still can knit.
Yes. That's a good one. But I
like till you get to the yarn shop.
We have most people here like charts.
Yeah, Linda likes charts too.
Okay. Yeah. Don't get ahead of yourself by reading a pattern too far. One step at a time. Chart.
Yeah. Chart. Valerie likes charts too.
So I was watching another YouTuber who was talking about having schematics in patterns.
Okay.
That and this was, I found it was kind of blunt, but they said if a pattern does not have a schematic, that maybe you shouldn't do it. Anyone have any thoughts about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Linda says at least one project should be mindless knitting.
Yes, I agree with that. Very much so. Very much so.
That way when you're tired, but you still want to knit, you can knit.
Yes, or the times when, you're distracted, like car trips, mindless knitting. Wait, Linda, those socks were excellent. The traveling socks.
Yeah, they were cute.
Fantastic. Well, and the fact is,
I don't 100% agree with that statement that YouTuber made, though.
Okay, explain schematic.
Yeah, so that's the drawing in a pattern to give you measurements.
So, if you are a sewer and you cut your patterns out, that's what a schematic is. So the schematic is the drawing the actual size. In this case, it's not the actual size, but it's printed in size and it gives all the measurements. So the measurements, say, from the from the ribbing, like, or say the cuff up to the shoulder, where you're going to start to increase, where you're going to decrease, where you're going to do your shoulder.
I have no
and
patterns in
all,
here with schematics.
what's that?
I said I don't have any patterns in here with the schematic. No, it's just the drawing that's giving you the measurement of like the top that you're doing, stuff like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Okay, well, sure. I think
Actually,
some patterns definitely need to have schematics, but I don't think all do. Like, I don't put in a schematic for my hat patterns.
No, I don't think they meant for hat patterns. I think they're talking more about like sweaters. Hang on. Do. I like it when I can just pull it right behind me. Schematic.
Yeah.
Okay, there's your schematics right there.
Yeah, Linda says I like schematics, especially if you start making adjustments.
Do you find that schematics keep you on track so that you don't have to go back and count your gauge? Because, you know, and that's another thing we don't often talk about is how many times are you knitting? And if you're in a bad mood, your knitting's a lot tighter.
Mine has never changed.
Like, you don't change?
No. Linda asked, does most Berroco patterns have schematics, right? Yes, I believe they do.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're sewing. Well, yes, because they have different measurements in them. Unless they're, yeah, I would say most of their sweaters do.
I think so, yes. I'm trying to think schematics are mostly used for piece.
No. Andrew Mowry puts them in hers to show different widths and things and stuff like that. They put them in so that you'll know how big your neck hole is going to be, how long from, like if you're doing drop shoulder, how long the shoulder length is before the sleeve stitches, those kind of things. They might have it to show how you're seaming something up too.
I like them just because it allows me to keep tabs. Like if I'm starting to say bottom up and piecing, and I've already done my my gauge swatch, and you know I'm in a good mood, everything's going fine, and then you know I may come home and I'm not in a good mood, or I'm tired or what have you, and then my gauge changes.
Oh, really?
And this allows me to go, okay, well, this is where I should be at this. It's not too wide. It's not too narrow.
See, my gauge never changes. Linda says schematics help when you're blocking too. Yes, for sure it does.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. So who prefers schematics? I think a lot do.
Well, no, they should be in for things like tops and sweaters. Pants, anything that's got to be fitted like that has lots of options.
Yes.
Especially but at the same time, you get what you pay for.
Yes.
And now, okay, that's not 100% true. Getting what you pay for. It's more of, I don't know how to say it. Well-known designers like Tin Can Knits, for example, has lots of free patterns, but they are just as good as their paid patterns.
Yes.
So you can download free patterns from anybody, but if they're not a trusted designer, and same thing with paid patterns, if it's not a trusted designer, then you're getting what you paid for, right?
Well, exactly. Well, and then there is such a thing too, is I mean, you can get tech editors, right? A lot of them do get tech editors. When they're putting out, and you've got a tech editor going through that pattern, so they put a call out for a tester first. People test it, they come back, a tech editor gets it, and once the tech editor goes over it, then yeah, you usually know that that's a good pattern. A lot of times, someone is good at knitting and they do a pattern, but they don't put it out as a test knit. They don't put it out, as for a tech editor to go over it. And those are the ones that they're still asking like $7 US for them. And then you get that pattern and there's something that hasn't been checked over. So I think that's where we're going with that, not the ones that aren't, I can't say not as well known, because you don't want to put people down for being creative, for putting out there and
No,
trying, right?
but some people can't
But
write patterns.
no, exactly. And unfortunately, you don't know until you buy. So then
Sometimes,
what do
yes.
you do? Right?
I never get tech editors, and I rarely get my patterns tested, but I still publish them.
Yeah, but you're not doing like a full cardigan
No,
at
I
this.
haven't done any big ones yet, really.
Yeah,
Um,
like I mean, if it's a hat pattern, or if it is a like a cowl or a shawl or anything like that, no, I don't think I would expect that the pattern would go through a tech editor. But if it is a garment, whether it's a sweater, if it's, yeah, I kind of would, because not I don't know how anyone else feels about this, but not only is that my hard-earned money that I'm putting out to buy that pattern, but it's also the amount of yarn that I need to make that pattern.
yeah,
That all adds into the cost. Like, today when you're thinking about, the type of yarns that you can buy, a sweater's costing you 70, 80, 90, $100, depending on
yeah, I
what you're
can.
paying, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, when it comes to sweaters, like sweaters, full garments and stuff, I think I would feel more secure knowing that that there was a tech editor, or it was tested. Anyways, it was tested.
Yeah.
Who's Mr. Cardigans? I like Mr. Cardigan's pattern. Lee's? Explain that one. I don't know. What's everyone else think about that? About, purchasing patterns? Do you only purchase patterns from well-known designers, or do you go out and just you purchase what you just like and go with the flow? Or do you read all the reviews?
Well, that's one of the reasons why I think Ravelry is helpful because you'll see how many people have bought that pattern. A lot of
Okay.
people fill out project pages, and so you can read their notes and see how they did with the pattern before you're
Yes.
um, spending your time or money on it.
Very
Those
true.
kind of things.
Yes. Yes. I can see that pattern for Mr. His cardigan. Who is the designer of that one?
Oh yeah,
Lise?
that one was a bad one. Lisa's sweater. Yes, we had to make some changes to that one.
Okay, so Lise Thomas. If it's free, I will download it. But if I purchase it, it usually goes with my favorite designers. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
I would.
so
Yeah, I don't remember what the pattern was called that Lee's Brown got, but it was
it was
a really poor pattern. Yeah, we had to make lots of adjustments to it.
oh really? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
things like,
Yeah,
well, it had a hood. I can't remember if she did the hood or not, but
right.
there was lots of things that you kind of go, it was too small, and she was doing like the largest size, and it was still too small. Like, yeah, what he wrote in the pattern was not what was working to what she did. So
That's maddening though.
yeah.
You know.
Well, and I mean, not just that, like you wasted all that time.
Yes. Yes.
Now you
Yeah.
can rip it out and reknit it as something else, but
But
yeah.
still, if you're spending like I know there were a few people because I bought the pattern for the frog and the toad, and it was what was it, $15 US for that pattern? Um and then people are saying, where's the limit? Like, you do get a few that are, I mean, I always say, it's always nice to give someone new a try. I mean, they've all got to start somewhere. I'm just
Right.
saying, legitimate, I would like to see that if I'm paying that amount of money for a pattern, I'd like to see, it tested at least. Not necessarily. I don't know how much it costs for a tech editor, but yeah, I just worry about that with Ravelry. So, again, where we're going back to free patterns, that's where I think sometimes I'm like, Lise, if it's free, then, I I do that, and that helps me test whether I like their designing or not.
Yeah.
But then you usually fall back on the patterns, other than the chicken. Yeah. Other than the chicken. Who has done the chicken? I didn't. You know, I never ever look. The Knitting Tree by the Knitting Tree LA. It says life is
there's 683 projects on Ravelry. So that pattern has been well tested, whether it was tested by, before it was published or not. 683 chickens have been made at least.
I think we should start a commune for chickens. Well, that's what I was saying about the baby surprise jacket. That was, you're going the change between vintage, the way we used to knit, 50 years ago has changed quite a bit to the way we knit now. That's available to us, right? So that's what I keep saying to people. If you are going to do the baby surprise jacket, do yourself the favor. They cost the same amount. Do not buy the original pattern. Buy the online generator. Mm-hmm. And then that way you just plug in the circumference that you need and the gauge that you want. And it writes all the rows for you. And then you just print it out.
Nice.
Because
okay.
Keep going. I got a frog in my throat.
If you're using the Tin Can Knits app, they do the same thing with their patterns.
They do what?
So if you plug in what size, say, sweater you're doing, it'll remove all of the other numbers and only give you the numbers that you need for the size that you're knitting.
Oh, that's cool.
It generates a pattern just for you to knit from, rather than having to do, go through and circle the numbers or highlight the numbers and try and follow directions. Yeah.
Right. We need to watch the movie Chicken Run again. Love that knitting chicken. Lee says the chicken makes her laugh. Me too. I wasn't going to share it today. I was not, but I was trying to keep it a secret until I had it done. And then I told on myself to Lauren last night. Was it last night? Yeah, last night I did. Mm-hmm. Because
you just can't keep
it so happy. No, I've never been able to keep secrets. I'm the type 2 months before Christmas, I'm telling the kids what they got.
Oh my goodness.
I can't. That's why I always said it was okay if we didn't have Christmas. It was just always gifts were just because I want to. Just because I want to, yes. Anyways, I don't have anything else.
We've been on for quite a while. We can
everybody's
wrap it up then.
Yes. Yes. Unfortunately, we did have some different stuff planned today. But I think I'm going to have to buy a Mac computer.
We are trying out new technology again, and it's always a learning curve to get started. So,
yes, and
once we get it all figured out, but it's fun that we're able to do these lives now.
Well, it's good practice. Like, anyone that knows me knows I'm very, very shy as it is. I don't have pictures taken. Someone pulls out a camera and I'm hiding. I just don't. And sometimes there's some of us that are just so bloody awkward. And that's me. That's me. So sometimes I'll be thinking something, but it's like one of those open mouth insert. So what I mean to say doesn't always come out the way that I actually mean it to. So needlessly to say, this has been a hardship for me. And, I've never been one of the ones that thinks in terms. So, you could talk to me about, purling, knitting, all the technical terms of things. I know them, but I don't use them. It's like whatchamacallit. Like it's like a car, you go, the whatchamacallit isn't working properly.
I just say it's making a noise.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm the same way in my knitting. I don't go for the technical. I'm a down to earth girl. You know, I've cleaned
Yeah.
chicken poop, pig poop, whatever. I don't need to be technical about things. I just need to get it done. So anyway, if I ever offend somebody, sorry. I'm really nice, honestly. Anyways, that's it. Chicken. So I guess Lauren will announce that on Thursday. The emotional support chicken.
Sure.
Yeah. And yeah. And
I'll
then
make
open up.
myself a note.
Yeah.
Well,
Make the announcement. Mhm.
yeah, I'll make the announcement in Sweet Yarns.
Yes.
And then we'll plan to knit chickens in March.
It's going to be chicken month in March. Yes. And
At
if
least we get started on our top knit along, but we can do both at the same time.
do we have something picked out for a top knit along yet?
No, because we're doing the spring yarn tasting this week. So after that, we usually do
Okay.
a hot weather make along.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh,
but
that's
that's
one
March to
thing.
May, so lots of time.
I did forget that one thing. I'm sorry.
What?
Last night I was going to say I was up till like the wee hours of the morning, but that's my normal life. But anyways, I have decided that I am going to make kitchen curtains.
Okay.
I'm going to knit them.
Yeah.
Yes, and well, the problem is that my kitchen window, I have two windows in the kitchen, and the one side gets the sun all morning and the front one gets it all in the afternoon through the evening.
Right.
So you can't sit and eat without being blinded.
Okay.
But because I live on a highway, you don't want to close curtains or have blinds where you can't see, like, what's going on in the highway and stuff like that. But you need something to kind of diffuse the light.
Right.
So I've decided that I'm going to knit curtains.
Okay.
Just like for the top half of the windows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
See?
had crocheted one at the other store. Someone had put them in.
You crocheted them or?
No, somebody did.
Okay.
But they were at the other store. I don't have a window in the bathroom at the new place.
True. Well, most of the ones I looked at, it was a long search, but most of the ones I looked at had like flowers and, but I think I have found one. It's kind of geometric. So anyways, that will be something that I may be casting on soon. I'm never going to get to my 7 projects. Never.
Not if you keep looking.
I know, but I keep coming up with other things that have to be done. So, yep.
That's
maybe
right.
2025. So anyways, folks, it is time to go. We've kept you on for, oh my goodness, 1:30, 1.5 hours. Doesn't feel like that long. All right. So she hung up on me. Okay, well, she's gone, so I guess I get to say goodbye. And I don't know where she went to, but she disappeared. So I'm all on my own. Oh, there you go, orange yarn. So thank you so much. I don't know her end spiel because I never do it. But I just want to thank each and every one of you for coming. And again, like, bless everybody. It's so wonderful to be able to pass things on and love each other and help each other out. So we will see you next week, Monday again at 1:30. And hopefully we'll have something new to show. So we will take care. Okay, bye-bye.